here for another circuit. So we're going to start off with bicep in and out. We'll grab some weights or water bottles, whatever you're using here. We're going to come up and we're going to come into a static hold with a bicep curl. And we're going to rotate out to the sides and then come back to the middle and then out to the sides. So you have a static hold with a bicep curl and you're rotating out to the side. As you rotate, what you want to do is you want to squeeze the back. So just like in a back row, back fly, you're squeezing the shoulder blades together as you come out to the side. Depending on your flexibility and range of motion, that will determine how far you come out to the side here. So it could be out to here, or it could just be a smaller rotation to here. Whichever one you can do, you want to squeeze the back here and then bring the weights back together. So we're getting the benefit of the static hold on the biceps, and as we externally rotate, we're getting the squeeze in the back, biceps and back. You want to do all of these movements slow and controlled. You never want to arch the back, but you do want to squeeze the shoulder blades together to make sure that your back muscles are working as you externally rotate. Come out to the side, come back to the middle. Feel that squeeze in the shoulder. We'll go 3, 2, and last one here. So up next we have a narrow deadlift to a wide squat. As always with our deadlifts, we want to make sure that we're lifting from the pelvis, squeezing the glutes. We're never lifting from the back. So we come down into our narrow deadlift, squeeze at the glutes, and use those muscles to bring you up. Then we're going to step wide to a wide squat, bend at the knees, squat like you're sitting back in a chair, come up and squeeze. Come back to your narrow deadlift. Use the pelvic floor to bring you up, those glutes. Step wide, and then come into your squat. As you progress with these, you can use a heavier weight. I'm demonstrating with 5 pounds here. Step wide and come into your squat. Be sure to squeeze here. Come narrow. So with each of these exercises here, we're combining 2 different exercises to get the benefit in one. So 2 for 1 here. Step wide, come down into that squat, squeeze up. You want these slow and controlled. Squeeze at the glutes, step wide. Now come down into your squat and come up and squeeze. Deadlift, step out wide, come into your squat. We're narrow here, step wide, come into that squat. Remember, when you squat, your knee is over the ankle. So you're hinging at the hip on your deadlift, and then you step wide, and then you flex the knee. Hinge at your hip, squeeze up to the top, come back into that wide squat, come down, up and squeeze. Let's go for 2 more. Deadlift, squat down, squeeze, deadlift, squat down, and squeeze. So we're going to come back into the bicep in and out. We're here with a static hold with the bicep, and we're going to externally rotate out. Squeezing at the back, You want to make sure that your motions are slow and controlled. Your breathing is even. You never want to send out like this. You want to keep that motion controlled. Squeeze at the back and then return to start. Squeeze at the back, return to start. This is really going to concentrate the effort into the muscles that you're trying to work. If we're just kind of flailing and flopping about and we're not contracting those muscles, we're not going to see a change. It's only when you use that mental connection that you're going to see that change in those muscles. You're going to gain strength. You're going to tone the muscles up. Squeeze the back. 2. Last one here. Then we'll come back into that deadlift to a squat. So we're at a narrow stance. Come down into your deadlift. Use the glutes to raise you up. Step out wide. Come down into your squat. With both your deadlift and your squat, the weight of your body should be pressing into your heels. So as you do your deadlift and your squat, you should be able to raise your toes off the floor. And you can test that as you come down, pick up your toes just a little bit, make sure that your weight's going into the heel, and as you step wide, raise your toes up a little bit, make sure that you're pressing into the heels, come up and squeeze. It's really important to do your deadlifts and your squats with really good form because they are really hard muscles to target. And if you're just squatting down or if you're just doing your deadlift and using your back muscles, you're not working the hamstrings and the glutes. You want to make sure that you're hinging at that hip so that you're getting that proper contraction on the glutes. We've already worked the back. We're working the hamstrings and the glutes here. And in your squat, we have your quads and your glutes, but feel that contraction on the way up, squeeze, and then come back to your deadlift. Let's go 3 more rounds here. Step wide, come down, that's 1. Narrow deadlift, come up and squeeze. You're maintaining a neutral spine so your chin is up. When your chin is down, it makes your back round. You want to keep a straight back. And what helps with that is when you keep your chin up and you're looking about 3 feet ahead of you, that's what's going to help to maintain that level in your chin. So now we're going to go into the upper lower body. This one we're coming into a wide deadlift with a bicep curl. So we're stepping wide with our deadlift. Palms are out. We're hinging at the hips. We're not bending at the knees. We're doing the same deadlift motion. We pick up and we curl. Hinging at those hips. Come down to the point of stretch. Contract the glutes. Bring it up. Squeeze. Curl. Come down. Feel the stretch. Come up. Squeeze. Curl. Wide deadlift. Come up and squeeze. Curl. Down we go. Come up and squeeze. Curl. And again, I'm not making these too fast. Even though we're using the upper and the lower body and our heart rate's going up, getting us ready for cardio, I'm still not moving very fast. I will say that if you're using a light weight, your tempo will speed up versus if you were using a heavier weight. That is completely normal and to be expected. As long as you have proper form and you are squeezing the muscles that you're intending to work, we'll go 3 more here. So we're down, come up and curl, hinge at those hips, squeeze the glutes here, bring your body up and curl. And 1 more. Come up, squeeze the glutes, and make the curl. So now we're done with the weights. We'll start cardio. Coming into some simple booty kicks. We're just going to start to kick back here. So here's a relatively low modification for you if you are a beginner, or if you're just starting out with cardio. You'll want to start here and see where your heart rate goes. We want to get your heart rate up relatively quickly in these small little cardio sections. So if you're here and you're not feeling that heart rate go up, you're really going to want to add some skip into it. Come a little bit lower in that booty kick. Utilize your arms. So here you really want to bring the heart rate up quickly. You want to hold it at about a level 7 on a scale from 1 to 10. We're only doing cardio for 3 to 5 minutes. If you're doing 3 of these circuits, that's a good 15 minutes, possibly a little bit more of cardio that you're doing. But you also have to remember that when you're strength training, you're also raising your heart rate up. So you're still getting that cardio in, and even after we finish this cardio, it does take a little time for that heart rate to go down. It's the method to the HIIT method. And then you combine it with strength, and you're getting a total body workout with your cardio in short little sessions so that it seems more manageable. So if you only have the 20 minutes, then you're doing 1 circuit. 40 minutes, you're doing 2 circuits. For the full hour, you'll be doing 3 circuits. So if you're here and your heart rate is not at a level 7, you're going to want to intensify these moves. So here, we'll come into the ice skaters. We'll just go side to side. And I always tell my clients that if it bothers your knees or your ankles to make that extension out to the side, then you're just going to come here and do quick side to sides. Both of these are going to get your heart rate up without having to extend out to the side. And as I always say, I'm working out in a relatively small space here, which is totally doable. If you have access to stairs, you can run up and down those. A long hallway, you can run up and down the hallway. Utilize the space that you have. And if you're here in this modification and your heart rate isn't at a level 7, you're just going to make these moves more aggressive. In the studio, my clients do not have a whole lot of room to move sometimes, and they have to make the most of their space too. Okay, we'll take it for 5, 4, 3, 2, last one here. Come back into those booty kicks. Simple moves, they will get your heart rate up. But again, you need to make sure that as you're copying what I'm doing, if your heart rate is not going up, you need to be doing more. simple movements, raising that heart rate, using our body weight. This is why these videos are good to take on vacation, because you don't need much equipment and you also don't need much space. And if you are on an upper floor, you also don't have to worry about making too much noise as you're doing these movements. 5, 4, 3, 2, and last one. We'll go into those ice skaters, finish up the cardio section. And as you watch these circuits, and you know all the tips and tricks that I'm giving you, you can also just set the phone up and put music on and just follow my motions and my timing. So that's another option, but do listen to the circuits, because as we go through, I'm always giving tips and tricks on how to make these exercises the most effective while you're doing them. It saves time when you're doing the exercises as effectively as possible, because you get the most bang for your buck. So again, if you're in these ice skaters and it's becoming a little uncomfortable to make that extension out, just come here side to side. If that's easier for you, that's totally doable. And if you're here and your heart rate's not up, then just come down, do them quicker, lower, add the arms, and you'll see after maybe 15, 20 seconds, your heart rate's gonna start going up. We're almost done with these. 5, 4, 3, 2, and we'll call that last one there. We're going to take it into a standing abs. And here we're just going to do simple twist. So what you want to do is incorporate that pelvic tilt, contract in the abs, pull the belly button to the spine. So we want to make sure, before we do these, we want to make sure that we're fully contracted first. We're stable in our upper body and as much as we can in the lower body. And here we're just going to twist. These are slow twists because you want to keep that contraction. And as you're twisting, you want to feel that contraction in the twist. So you're pulled in. What I tell a lot of my clients is, if you're zipping up a pair of pants and you have to pull your belly button in and kind of condense everything in your midsection, that's what you want here, and then you create that movement. So here you have a contraction, and then you create the movement within the contraction. When you're lifting weights, you're using the resistance and the movement to create contraction. Here, you're going to contract first, and then create a movement within the contraction. So we're just coming out side to side, rotating and twisting. 5, 4, 3, 2, and last one here. So for our core, we're going to combine all three, lower abs, upper abs, and obliques at the same time. So we don't need much room for these. What we're going to do is we're going to come back. First, we're going to stabilize our entire body. Make sure that we're neutral, we're up, nothing is pinched. We're going to lift the legs. This is going to create a contraction in the lower abs. Whether your feet are straight or your knees are bent, that's fine. We're going to do Russian twist with our legs raised. So if you're up here in your Russian twist and your quads start to burn, what's going to happen is you'll drop your legs down to release the tension on your quads. Once you feel a release, you can bring them back up and continue that twist. So we're just twisting side to side. And you could bring your arms up and over to the side. We want to maintain that contraction and add in that twist. So if your quads start to burn, lower them for a few reps here. And then raise them back up when you can. And we'll twist. And we're going to take it to the left and we're going to hold. So we're holding out here. Pretend like you have a big beach ball. And then we're going to take it over to the right and we're going to hold it here. And then we're going to release the abs. So that's the end of another circuit. If this is your first, your last, or somewhere sandwiched in between, I hope you have a great day and enjoy. Thanks.